over the weekend, Enes Kanter of the Oklahoma City Thunder was sending out videos on social media saying, I'm trapped here in Romania, and it's because my passport has been revoked by his native Turkey. Whereas we all know a repressive regime, the Erdogan regime, has essentially taken over and put a stamp on that country that has erased any of the democratic institutions that had been there in Turkey for years. And Enes Kanter now back on American soil, kind enough to call into the Rich Eisen show. How are you, Enes?
Yes.
You there?
Yeah, yes, I'm here.
Good. How are you? Is a way,
I'm
I guess.
Good, man. How are you?
I'm fine, but my passport hasn't been ruled invalid in recent days, and I wasn't trapped abroad thinking I might be sent home to a country that wouldn't welcome me. I'm wondering how you are just a few days now that you're back here in America.
Well, I think the last, 52, last 3 days was one of the craziest, days in my life, definitely. Well, it all started in Indonesia. People are thinking of Romania, but it actually started in Indonesia.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on a global tour with my foundation, and Indonesia was the seventh stop. So everything was fine that day. I went to do a basketball clinic at that school. Everything was fine. We hang out with the kids and answer some questions and stuff. And then I went back to the hotel and went to sleep because I was really tired. And then I remember around like 2:30 a.m., my manager knocked my door, and, he said, the Turkish government or embassy called Indonesia and said, this guy is a dangerous man. And then that's why they send the army and the Secret Service to school I just had basketball clinic with. I looked at my manager, like, are you serious? Is that really, like, what's going on? He said, yeah, we need to do something. And then they said I'm a dangerous man. They just, want to talk to me. But I heard, some of my friends in Malaysia was, getting kidnapped and sent over to, the Turkey. And I was thinking, like, what should we do? We could have stayed the night. We could have spent the night and then talk to them the next day. But, there was a chance that they might, just arrest me and send me back to Turkey. And it would be really ugly. So I talked with my managers, what should we do? And then we looked at the flight. And the first flight was 5:30 a.m. He was like, we need to leave the country even day before we wake up. So we went to the airport, left the country, went to Singapore. And then we stayed around 5-6 hours. Then we went to Romania, and that's where all this, madness started.
And Enes Kanter of the Oklahoma City Thunder joining me here on the Rich Eisen show. So you were there in Romania for how many hours with you wondering if you were going back to Turkey at that point in time?
So I was there for like around 4 hours because there was no problem because there was no problem in Singapore, there was no problem in Indonesia or anything. So I gave my passport to police and he looked at it, and he was like, come back with me. I was like, okay. So I went to the back with him. So 15, 20 minutes later, he came to me and said, okay, your passport being canceled by Turkish embassy. I was like, what? Like, I asked him, like, okay, why is it canceled? Give me a reason. And then he didn't give me no reason. He couldn't give me no reason. He was just saying, oh, your passport just canceled. But I would keep telling him and say, okay, it has to be a reason. Why my passport canceled? He was like, it's a secret. I can't tell. You can call the Turkish embassy.
Mm-mm.
So police said, you got two options. One, you can go to another European country and try to get in. The second, you can go back to America. So I was like thinking, so if my passport is canceled and if I go back to another, just European country, there was a chance that, look, hey, you're not American citizenship. So you're Turkish, your passport is canceled, so we have to send you back to Turkey. So, and there was a big risk. I didn't want to take it. I talked with my manager. He said, okay, let's go back to America. And, we stayed there for like 3-4 hours. First, we went to London. Then we missed our flight because it was too close to each other. So we missed our flight to New York. And then, they said, okay, the next flight is the next morning. So I was like, oh, man, what should we do? Because if we leave the airport in London, there's a chance that we might not get back in because of our passport, my passport. So he was like, you know what? Let's spend the night in the airport. Just chill here a little bit, and then till the morning, till the flight. And then the flight, before I get in the flight, there was this gentleman was waiting for me. He looked at my green card. He was from Homeland Security. Looked at my green card. Took some notes, took some numbers, called some people, and then he was like, okay, you're good to go. Now get on a plane. We took off. That was like one of the best moments I had.
And this all happened on your 25th birthday, huh?
Yes, that was the craziest part. People were like going to because when I tweeted that video, people were like going to my Twitter. It was like, man, that's his birthday, 25th birthday. And it was just, that was like one of the worst birthday I ever had.
Enes Kanter of the Thunder joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. It's one of the more simple questions you can ask, but why does Turkey consider you a dangerous man, Enes?
So I feel like it all started, last year with the coup attempt. You guys probably heard about the coup attempt in Turkey. Well, it was a fake coup attempt. Because if you want to understand who did the coup attempt, you have to look at the results. And then the number shows that after the coup attempt, there's, 130,000 people in the jail. And there's 17,000 of them are women, pregnant women, old women, kids and everything. And over 2,000, dormitories, universities, schools are shut down. All this journalists, newspaper, all this, channels are shut down, are in the jail. So President Erdogan, did a fake coup attempt to his own country so he can control everything. He wants to be the one-man show. He wants to control army, the police, the judges, teachers, the military, everything. So he wants to be the one-man show, and he is using the religion to, just brainwash people. That's the easiest way to, control people. So he's polarizing people, making groups, and whoever is speaking out against them, or his, his dictatorship, he's just, trying to shut you on everything. He's putting people in jail, and he's always, shutting your newspaper, shutting down your, everything. And, that's why I'm a part of, the movement called Hizmet, led by Mr. Fethullah Gülen. So this group was the only group, this movement was speaking out against him. All the corruption Erdogan did, all the, the people he kidnapped, the people who he murdered somehow. And I mean, that's why whoever's speaking out against him. So after the coup attempt, I was, speaking out against him. I try to be the voice of all these innocent people in the jail. Because if you look at all these reports, I'm not saying that the reports are saying that. Amnesty International, all the other reports, people are getting tortured, people are getting raped, people are getting killed in jails. I mean, if you look at what happened last week in Washington, in front of the whole world, Erdogan gave an order to his bodyguards to, attack people. And he did this in front of the whole world. So if he did that, think about what he's doing behind the curtains in the jail to all these innocent people who like speaking out against him. And so there is no freedom of speech or freedom of religion or anything. So that's why it's being crazy.
And I know that you have become estranged from your family and your friends. Are they putting you in that arm's length or further away because they're afraid of what would happen to them in the country, or they believe in what is happening with the president there, Enes?
Yeah, think about right now, I haven't spoke to my family. I haven't spoken with my family, my mother, my dad, my sister or brother, or close to 2 years now. Or not just my family, my friends in Turkey too, Turkish friends. So if they know, if the Erdogan government knows that they're in contact with me somehow, WhatsApp, Viber, or anything, even like a text message, they will be in jail the next day. So, and because they are listening to their phones, it's like the dictatorship, you know how it works. They're listening to their phones, they're listening to calls and everything. So none of my Turkish friends right now can text me. None of my family or none of the people I know for a long time in Turkey cannot text me, because if they know, they'll be in jail the next day. So it's that crazy.
Enes Kanter Oklahoma City Thunder for a couple more minutes here on the show. So are you ever going to leave the country again? I'm serious. I mean, that's not a flip. That's not being flippant here. I mean, that's a serious question. Will you ever leave the United States again?
Well, I have to because, I mean, we play against, Toronto Raptors and it's in Canada. So I need to leave the country one day somehow. But right now, that's why I have my green card, year and a half ago. So that's why I need to get a citizenship as soon as possible. So I need to speed up the process because, I mean, if not, then I cannot do my job. I cannot go to play basketball.
Well, no, I know, Enes, but I mean, and this is not, again, being flippant. I mean, there are players in the NFL who don't take the road trip to Denver because they have a blood disorder that makes it dangerous for them to play in the, mile-high conditions.
Yes.
Perhaps you will just sit out the game with the Toronto Raptors. I know you want to be a professional, but, I mean, this is life we're talking about here.
Yeah, definitely. But, I'll say I love my job. I love my team, my teammates. I'll definitely want to help them, every moment I'm on the floor or I'm off the floor on the bench. I'll definitely, I mean, we going to try to work out somehow. I understand it's, really important situation, but I will definitely want to, just chat with my teammates or whatever. I wouldn't want to sit out because, they pay me money. I need to earn that money that they pay me.
And, what would have happened if you were not able to get out of Romania and you were going back to Turkey? What would have happened to you, Enes?
Well, I know for my friends and everything. So if I wanted to say somehow they deport me back to Turkey, we wouldn't do this show right now. The next day, probably you would not hear a word from me ever again. Somehow they will say, "Oh, he just got food poison," or "This happened," whatever this happened. They will just do something to, because it will be a lot of pressure from America and from all over the world. Because I remember, when that happened, a lot of senators were texting me. All this, Homeland Security, NBA people, NBPA people everybody was texting me. So they couldn't keep me in jail. So they will do somehow to, just keep me back in Turkey. They wouldn't want me to come back in America and play NBA basketball again because I'm speaking out against them. So they will be like, "Oh, he just got food poison," or something happened to him. So they will do so. So we wouldn't do this show right now. It will get really ugly.
Well, last one for you, Enes. For anybody who's out there who's listening and watching you and telling your story, what would you like them to do to help? If that's any way, shape, or form can be done by anybody who hears this.
I'm just saying, I want to be the voice of all these innocent people in Turkey, man, because, in Turkey, things are getting really, really ugly and really crazy, and people don't know 100% what's going on. And I am just front of people's eyes playing basketball and NBA. That's why people know my story. But if my story compared to other people, my friends' family story, it's not even, my story is not even big. I'm hearing some stories that it's seriously some messed up stories. So that's why I want European Union, I don't know, some human rights or, whole world, America to do something about Erdogan government or what's going on in Turkey. So I want people to know what's going on, how, a dictatorship is going on, running the country. But right now, I just want all those people listening to the show. I just want you guys, pray for Turkey, pray for me, pray for all these innocent people.
Done. Enes, and when we come to Los Angeles, I'd love to meet you, shake your hand, have you on the show then.
Thank you, man. Definitely.
You bet. That's Enes Kanter of the Oklahoma City Thunder. What a story.
The Rich Eisen Show. Weekdays at noon Eastern on radio stations across the country and audience.
If you like that video, be sure to download our app, and I'll be sure to help the NFL figure out what a catch is.